Welcome to the Modest Sports Show, home of your college athlete, where we are player-led and player-focused. Sorry we are starting behind time. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, and so as a result, kind of got knocked off schedule. But we are here, ready to see what you all think about this college football playoff reveal, and also ready to see how things turn out. So. Hope everybody is having a beautiful Sunday morning. Hello. Hello, SHISS. Hello. What's up, Pops? What's up? We here. Like I said, sorry about the technical difficulties. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Like we always do, let's try to get this out to a couple of people. And we watching the college football playoff selection show on this fine Sunday. Started behind schedule. Oh, what's up, BJ? Let's get this out to a couple of people. Let's get this out to a couple of people. We are live. We are live. I am doing well this morning. How are you? Good, good, good. How are you this morning? BJ, I need you to tell Mama to get Coach Trina on here, get Coach Hanley, everybody. Let's get everybody on here this fine Sunday morning while we wait on these college football playoff ranking reveals. This is who's in. Got 3 practices today. You grinding today then, man. Right now, we are just kind of watching some of the discourse amongst the panelists as we build up to the final reveal. So, yeah, we just it's kind of hanging out right now. Yep. Guys, did you join? What's up? What's up? What's up? Do I think SMU in over Bama? I think SMU last night showcased a lot of resilience in that comeback win over Clemson. Alabama, I feel like it's been a very inconsistent year for Alabama. My thing is this, though. My thing is this with the Alabama football team. When the offense relies on its run game and when it can get its run game going, okay, they give themselves a great chance to win the game. SMU, when we think about their strength of schedule, they rolled, and I kind of predicted them to be highly placed in the ACC coming off of the season they had last year in the AAC. But when we think about their strength of schedule, it's like played in a weak ACC schedule. And so just given the landscape, I would hate to see SMU out. But I think I'm going to roll with Bama. I think I'm going to roll with Bama getting in. Just because Alabama, I feel like the strength of schedule is there. Now, granted, they have lost some games embarrassingly. But when we ask SMU, it's kind of like when I'm thinking about SMU, who have they beat? Who have they beat? Who has SMU beat? And I feel like that's the ACC in general. That might be a biased take. That might be a biased take. But it's tough. It's just one of them tough things about this college football playoff. No matter the year, no matter the teams who are involved, it's tough. Shiz, who do you got? Like, who do you think should be in? Do you believe SMU should be in over Bama, or do you feel like Alabama has no case, no point? Okay, Bama can hold themselves. Yeah, and I'm with you. I'm with you. I think given the way that Clemson has kind of played down the stretch, I'm with you. I feel like SMU kind of losing the way that they did to Clemson is going to have some bearing over how relevant they are in the college football playoff. And I just feel like SMU, that was a must-win game for them. And I think the committee is going to agree with that. Everyone is about to be surprised. Devencia says, I'm glowing. And the Modest Sports Show is growing. Yeah, we're growing and glowing on this Sunday. I didn't even get to see the field goal. So check this, right? So this will happen with the SMU Clemson game from my perspective last night. So hold on, let's get this internet situation straight. But last night I was watching Clemson and SMU. And I watched SMU the way they even started the second half. They came out like okay, and I could tell the quarterback, he picked up his energy. It was like, let's go. And so they drove because I think it was 24-7 at half. They drove. I think they got the ball, or either they got a three and out. But they drove the field, scored 24-14, and then they just kind of picked up the momentum. Clemson scored 10 points in the second half. They SMU though, they just kept coming. Then on the final drive of the game, they scored. They tied the game 31-31. And I'm thinking, okay, it was like 16 seconds ago, something like that on the clock. I'm thinking, okay, game is over. And then we see, and then I turned the game off because I'm thinking it's finna go overtime. I was kind of tired, so I'm like, okay, it's gonna go overtime. I'll watch whatever in the morning. And I'll be dang if 4 or 5 minutes later, 3 minutes later, I see a tweet with a screenshot that say 34-31. And I was like, what? Like, what? I thought it was fake, tell you the truth. But yeah. So guys, we still kind of in the early part, still kind of waiting on everybody to trickle on in. Let's get some more people in here. If you can, send this to about 2 or 3 people to get them on. Let's get this chat rolling. Let's get some discussion going. But Bernard Lacey says, what about that 59-yard field goal from Clemson? Yeah. Clutch, I guess. That's insane. But we're just watching, guys. We're just kind of watching as you're trickling on in. This is the Modest Sports Show, home of your college athlete. Let's get some more people on here. And what we're doing is we just streaming. Like right now, I got the college football playoff reveal in the background. You all might be able to hear it, but just kind of talking about this, just kind of talking, seeing what's going on. While you all so kindly sit and watch the college football playoff reveal with us. Man, this is it. We've been waiting all season for this. This is it. But hope you guys are having a fine Sunday. I would say, Mariah reviews. Hey, how you doing, Mariah? But BJ, who do you think should have had a better season? Alabama. I think Alabama is one of the ones they kind of disappointed. Feel like they should have had a much better season than what they were able to pull out. What's up, Ken? Yo, let's get this. Man, send this to, hey, I need the Ashes in Sports. They love to talk so much. Get them in here to talk. We can have live debate. You ain't got it. It's real time. Let's get them in here. Let's get them jokers in here on this Sunday morning. Ain't nobody doing nothing else. Watching this college football playoff reveal. Ken, what games did you watch yesterday, bro? What games did you? What games surprised us? I'll tell you this much: Penn State surprised me yesterday. Penn State surprised me so much yesterday. The way that they played offense, I did not think they had it in them. And see, I don't or is it just Oregon's defense? Is Oregon's defense just not like? Because I felt like Oregon's defense had gotten better this year. No, they picked up some pieces in the secondary. And no, Landon, of course, recruits well. So I thought they kind of stitched a better defense together. But I guess not. Or is Penn State's offense are they just spotty? Like, can they hit you for those type of performances like yesterday? Because it makes no sense. They get in certain games, it's like they can only score 10 points, 13 points. Like, they look good yesterday, though. Ken say, I told Bama was going to have 3 losses early on. I watched them all for sure. That was me yesterday. Went to my little niece first birthday party. So I was but we had the YouTube and the Hulu all cranked up. Penn State been sneaky good. Oregon hadn't really played nobody really. Penn State is spotty. Yeah, I feel like, man, because it's like half the time I'm thinking like, who are their receivers? Do they even have receivers? Now I know the cat Tyler Warren, I believe, he's a ball player, but yeah. Yeah, I feel like Tyler Warren, he's a ball player, though. He's like their go-to guy. But as far as their wideouts, like, I'm like, who do they have on the hottest sports? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Trying to get some more people in here, man. Gots to get some more people in here. Somebody told me not to log on to Twitter because I unfortunately see Bama getting out and SMU getting in. Oh man, that's gonna shake the foundation. What's good? I like it. We rolling. We starting. Everybody getting in here, getting settled. Okay. I want real debate today. Real debate. Von Dragus, his Alabama hatred is running thick this morning. Running thick in his veins. What happens if Alabama gets in? What happened if Alabama gets in? But it said somebody in the chat got they said they got some insight. Said they got some insight, so for those of you just coming in, we just streaming this college football playoff reveal though. Got it running in the background like we do in our Monday night football games while we just talking, kick it in the chat. Appreciate that, Ken. Appreciate it. Cause like they got so much to say all day. Now is the time while we watch this college football playoff reveal. Mondragus coming heavy. Got Nick on the TV politicking. Okay. Okay. Oregon Ducks. Popcorn ready. That's right. That's right, Cheatham. Popcorn ready. Number 2. Georgia with the number 2 seed. Hey, Georgia showed real resilience this season. Georgia showed real resilience this season. Like, for real, real resilience. Georgia, man, the only thing I got to say of this Georgia team, when they can run the ball, they're going to be effective. When they can run the ball, they're going to be effective. Like, Georgia has struggled to run the ball this year. I think their leading rusher had like 500 or 400 yards coming into the Texas game yesterday. So when Georgia, as we seen yesterday, when they won the game on the run play, when Georgia can run the ball, they're gonna be effective. Now Beck has to get healthy. We got to see what he's gonna be capable of, but Beck has got to get healthy. I'll say his replacement wasn't too bad, but other good teams are gonna exploit that for sure. Georgia definitely looked like the most physical team yesterday, and that was a surprise to me. I really did not think that Texas was gonna be able to get them, or they were gonna be able to get Texas a second time. Third pick. Boise State, or 9 seed, but third conference championship in. So Boise State, I think we can all agree with that. But Boise State is probably going to get bounced first round. And I think Boise State obviously getting in like this, I feel like that's a foreshadow to Ashton Jeanty is going to win the Heisman. Ashton Jeanty is probably going to win the Heisman. I know Von Dragus wants Travis to get it. Oh, you think no way they get bounced? Arizona State. Ooh. Arizona State, I mean, of course we knew they was going to get in. But, like, man, hey, Ken. And we talked, Ken, Coach Ken and Coach Hanlon. We talked about that early this year. Arizona State, man, kind of proud of what they've been doing. Dillingham, he's showing that he got a lot of value. So, first round buys, Arizona State, Oregon, Boise State, Georgia, first round buys. Hunter for trophy. I don't see it. I think Ashton Jeanty, I think he going to get it. I think the storyline is perfect. No. They won't be at the house. They got first round buys. They'll play in the second round, and they'll space them wherever they at. They'll space them based on the bowl games. Oh, are you saying at the house as in they going to get bounced the first round or they second round they going to be at the house? Clemson got in. Okay, first round. Clemson with the 12 seed. I got you, Von Dragus. My bad. Yeah, man. Clemson with the last minute heroics. Man. Okay, yeah, my TV a little bit slower, guys. So Texas and Clemson. Okay, yeah, just a little bit slower, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. The way Texas, because Texas, like I said this yesterday, there is no reason Texas put up almost 400 plus yards of total offense and only scored 19 points. They hurt themselves with penalties. Now, granted, if they clean that stuff up, then they're good. But you can see even based on their reaction, like they would have enjoyed a first round bye. They had a first round bye if they beat Georgia. So Texas, man, they too. So I don't know, man. If Clemson plays a clean game, they'll put a lot of pressure on Texas. If they play a clean game, they'll put a lot of pressure on Texas. And Klubnik can run the football. Klubnik can run the ball. He gives them a lot of options on offense. So, interested to see how that's gonna look. I said I was gonna Von Dragus. Thank you for reminding me. I said I was gonna do a bracket for the Modest Sports Show. So like we'll do a Modest Sports Show group. I'll send it out to y'all, and we can all if we get a chance. If somebody win and somebody get $50,000, maybe they can share the love. Penn State with the 4th seed in the first round. Let's see who they gonna get. Let's see. Penn State. How do we feel about Penn State at that 4th seed? Like I was saying last night, or like I was saying earlier with Ken, Penn State showed some offense yesterday, offense that I didn't really realize they had in the passing game. Notre Dame, we knew Notre Dame was going to be in at that 5th seed. Run game will hurt them. Okay, Mr. JD 3000, appreciate you for joining, bro. Mr. JD 3000 said Clemson is beat up and lacking the run game right now. That'll hurt them. So, I mean, did Cade Klubnik, did he get injured right now? He could use his – last night, he could use his feet. And what about Phil Maffa? I know he's what's going on with the run game? Did he get hurt? Who got hurt? Ken says, can he sustain them hits? We talking about Klubnik. Klubnik, he look like he got a little size on him. He look a little stout. Think about 6'4", 2 something. All right, 8th seed, Ohio State. 6th seed in the rankings, but 8th seed, I don't know. They kind of got it looking crazy. Man. Ohio State in the 6th seed. How we feel about that? How do we feel about that? Coach Hanley says Notre Dame wins round 1. Yeah, like y'all a little bit faster than me. I do believe we are sleeping on Tennessee, Von Dragus. Great point. You know, I ain't seen where they finna get ranked yet, but I agree. They are sleeping on Tennessee. Tennessee and Ohio State. I like that matchup. Tell me what y'all think about that matchup. Like, how we feel about that? I feel like Ohio State, if they look anything like they looked against a Nebraska team or anything like they looked against who's another team they struggle with? Michigan. Michigan had their way running the football against Ohio State. Tennessee is going to kill them if they look like that. Tennessee is going to kill them if they look like that. So we like Ohio State over Tennessee, Coach Hanley. The Southern man, we like Ohio State over Tennessee. I can't go. I'm probably going all SEC first round, but I think the committee is trying to make a point with these matchups. No, Jalen Cheatham. Ohio State finna do them so bad. No. I'm not going for that. I don't know what football you've been watching. I'm not going for that. No, I'm not going for that. Tennessee, and the weather. I mean, I ain't. We could say weather, but come on, we know how I can get in Knoxville, right around this time of the year. So you ain't phasing me with the cold. Nah. Okay, I like that though. Indiana and Notre Dame. I like that first round in Indiana Notre Dame. I think Indiana is going home. I think Notre Dame is going to juice up. Yeah, okay, Coach Hanley. That's right. Okay, we had to clarify that because I'm like, what are we talking about right now? But yes, Ohio State has lost identity. Tennessee for the win. What is Mr. Cheatham talking about right now? What are we talking about? Ohio State over Tennessee? No. Not going for that. Not going for that. Give me Tennessee every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Ha ha, the Modern Sports Show. This is who it come down to. Oh man, Alabama, SMU. SMU had one job, man. They could have helped out. They could have made this real easy. They just made it real hard last night. Alabama, SMU. Well, I gotta put my hands over the comments because y'all a little ahead of me. Y'all talk amongst yourself in the comments, but I'm waiting on this 10 seed. Man, this is it, man. This is it. I got my hands over the comments. I ain't trying to see nothing y'all saying until I get on mine. Then we really gonna get into all of this. They building it up. They building it up. Either way. I think the committee finna do something so funny. I think they finna. Alabama out. Alabama out. Alabama out. Oh my God. Alabama. Miami. So now when we look at paths, when we look at paths, when we look at paths, man. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Vondragus. Looking at paths, Georgia and Oregon probably gonna be my picks, man. But let's see what they saying right here on this panel. Let's see what we got. Let's see what they come up with. Yeah. 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 Alabama out. UGA for it all of Texas. I like Oregon to win it all because Oregon has been my pick for a minute, but like Georgia, I definitely like them like given their path and what they got ahead of them. I like them to make the championship game for sure. For sure, Mr. JD3000 says I see Tennessee versus Georgia. Okay. Vondragus, I told y'all, Nick politicking for them folks. Yeah, they lost. And the thing is, I like when Nick said also but the only thing is, man, Alabama controlled their destiny. Even after Tennessee, Vandy lost, all they had to do was beat Oklahoma. And to be honest, who knows? Maybe they didn't even have to beat Oklahoma. Maybe they just had to, if they was going to lose 24-21, 24-18. But to put up 3 points, man, I will say what this means for DeBoer and company, though. Check on Pops, Corey. I will say what this means for Alabama. I think next season we are going to see a version of DeBoer that we have never seen. I think Milroe is obviously finna. So my question to y'all is this. I need the comments flooded with this. What is Milroe's next plan? What does Milroe do? Right? Alabama faithfuls, I've seen tons and tons of comments, tons of discourse and just conversation. They don't want him back here. I also feel like Milroe has not done enough. He kind of hurt himself this year in terms of draft stock. What does he do? Because I think DeBoer is going to have to have a tough conversation with him that like next season or maybe if he stays, we see a 2 quarterback situation where Milroe is the secondary quarterback, like we seen at Georgia Tech with Haynes King and like Ken, you and I talked about with my guy from Penson, or like we've seen with Texas as of late with Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning, a 2 quarterback system. But I don't feel like Milroe did enough this year to solidify himself. So when we think about what Alabama looks like next year, are they moving on from Milroe? Is Milroe going to hit the portal? Like I know DeBoer has brought in a kid from Washington, right? He's a pocket passer, Michael Penix proto. What do we think? Keon Hanley said, "Go where you're wanted, where you are wanted, not tolerated." I like that. Mondraga says they have to get better up front too. If he leaves, he better go with Gus or Lincoln. So Gus down at where did Gus just at Florida State or Lincoln at USC? Okay, I could see Gus. Lincoln, I got a hard time seeing that just because his offenses are so predicated on being able to pass the ball. Mama says he puts in the work during the offseason. He could redeem himself. I don't know. I think this season was a big year for him to actually showcase that value. And to be honest, if I'm being fair, at the beginning of the year, I thought he was going to be very, like the way he started the season off, I thought we did see that development. But then suddenly it was just this big drop-off. Ken Henderson says he'll go to the draft, wouldn't be upset if he returned. Yeah, but it's just like, okay, if now we can open the conversation. If he gets drafted or if he does declare for the draft, where do we see him falling? Because I've seen dogs at Alabama, real dogs, go undrafted. And I think if Cheatham is in this conversation still, he'll know what I'm talking about. Terry Milroe says Milroe will be in the NFL draft, second or third pick. Is this junior or senior? Because whoever it is, y'all tripping. I don't see that, bro. I don't see that. Vondragus Hudson, better Cam Newton with Gus, tougher runner with Lincoln. Better Cam Newton with Gus. I don't know, Vondragus. I don't see that. And you say tougher runner with Lincoln. So we think Lincoln would kind of predicate his style based on Milroe coming in to USC. Mr. JD3000 says, I think they need to be better at the tackle position. Those 360 tackles need to slim down to a 320-ish to slow some of the edge rushers. I agree with you. I agree because South Carolina looked rough for them. So I definitely see them being able to kind of slim down and develop in the lateral game, especially when they're going up against guys like Kennard. What's his name? Kennard, Kenneth at South Carolina. Dudes like that for sure. Terry Moore says, Round, I still don't see it, bro. I still do not see Jalen Milroe. Man, y'all got more faith in Milroe, bro, than I do. I started off with a lot of faith in Milroe this season, but his decision making is too poor. Holds the ball too long, too indecisive, too inconsistent throwing the intermediate ball. Like, I don't see it. I don't see it, man. Mr. JD 3000 says Milroe is a fourth rounder at best. Yeah, I'm gonna say fourth rounder to UDFA for sure. Ken Henderson says second round. Jalen Cheatham says, telling you, Milroe, Ron Williams, and Law at receiver. Only way we see him still at Alabama. So are you saying Ron Williams and Law being at receiver still is the only way that you would see Milroe being the quarterback for them? Or are you saying like kind of clarify that statement, Jalen? Vondragus Hudson says Jalen Hurts was getting the same push out like Milroe. He go with Lincoln Riley, he will get back on top. Okay, I like that comparison. I like that comp, Vondragus. Terry Moore said, I agree with you, but this draft don't have much talent at quarterback. And I agree with that too. I agree with that. There's not a lot of, and hell, we can go a step further and say, there's not a lot of talent at quarterback in general, not just going to the draft, but even in the portal. And I think Ken said that the other day when we were talking, for sure. Y'all get this out to 2-3 more people, man, a piece. Like, y'all saying some great stuff. We having a great conversation. Like, let's keep riding and rolling. Add a couple more people to the conversation. I'm going to get this out to a couple more folks. Like, let's keep going. Y'all really saying some stuff for real. Milroe being at receiver. So he's saying an entire position change for Milroe, huh? So you saying we gonna have to see something like we saw from Tua being the primary receiver, and then Jalen Hurts going into that Y catching a stick route against Missouri 2018, and the crowd cheering him, yeah, charity case, huh? Dang, man. Let's see, man. We got to get this out because we really talking. Y'all really saying some stuff this morning for real. Live reaction. Joel Platt says, what a horrendous job this committee did. The team that was penalized the most was Oregon football, and the team that was rewarded the most was Penn State football. I guess the Ducks should have laid down in the fourth. Just atrocious. I don't really understand what he meant by saying that. But a horrendous job team. I would have to go back. I don't know. Let's pull up this to really open up the dialogue. Let's pull up this. Hold up. Hold on 1 second, guys. All right, had to make sure that we is all good, man. Had to make sure we was all good. We back. Vondraga said, plus you know the NFL looking for those 4 to 5 year players at the quarterback. Yeah. Yep. Man. Let's pull up this bracket real quick. Because when we look at like what's going on and how everything is gonna pan out, how it's gonna look, I think that's important to the grand scheme of things. So like, let's look at this bracket. Cause like, and I'm gonna give y'all real time thought and real time opinion on what I think is gonna happen. Ken said Nick making good points. And yeah, I'll say that, man. Like in year one of this playoff 12 team bracket, it's been like everybody. This was a perfect chaos because every single team that was a part of what was going on. Like if you stay just I think it really put a magnifying lens on how marginal teams are in comparison to one another, even conferences. I know we kind of talked all season about the SEC being the best conference and the Big Ten versus Big 12 and ACC, so forth and so on. But I still greatly believe that it put like things into perspective in terms of, okay, well, if the best teams in each conference, if it's 4 to 5 teams who are all right there in the middle, it does put a magnifying lens on, like Nick said, strength of schedule, and it kind of put things like, okay, what's more important in the grand scheme of things? Yeah, yeah, that's very real. That's very real. And if I'm being honest, right? If I'm being honest, as much as I probably would have liked Alabama to make the college football playoff this year, they didn't deserve it. And truthfully, if I'm being honest in this regard, I think it's better for the sake of Alabama's legacy for them not to have made it than for them to go to Penn State and Penn State look the way they did against Oregon yesterday and Alabama have no answers. And then it would really open up a can of like, okay, people would start questioning. I'm not saying it would be fair or just, but people would definitely start questioning the SEC's legacy. Like, well, hold up, man. We just play, and we all know in this chat that it would be nothing the same in years of the past, but we know that's what the people would start doing. Yeah. Schedule reveal. All right, so we got this. Is what we got. So Clemson playing in Austin, Texas. Tennessee going to Columbus, Ohio. SMU on the road at State College, Pennsylvania. And then Indiana and South Bend, Indiana. Now that Indiana and Notre Dame game, that's gonna be a sneaky good game. That's gonna be a sneaky good game. Man, you know your Bama and Auburn fans about to stop tuning into the show. Hey, Terry Moore says, I think that Boise State need to beef up. They out of conference schedule. They literally played. They played Oregon though. They played Oregon, and they actually gave Oregon a hard time. So while we're here, let's do this. Let's go through some of these matchups. I want to hear what y'all got to say about each one. I want to hear what you got to say about each one. Oh, actually, let's hold off on that because the college football chair, he gonna talk. Lil Richie says Texas still made it. ... Of course, man. Of course. It didn't necessarily mean like because you can't penalize teams for again. So when we think about Terry Moore says that, but they still lost. Yeah, that's real. They did lose to Oregon, but like we just saying, and we can relate this to Richie's comments. Like, look who you playing, and that's real because this ain't get tricky, man. Because with Alabama, if they had been real quality losses, Alabama would have got in over SMU. But we can even take Vandy away because, like I said, Vandy played everybody the same way. What killed Alabama was the way that they lost to Oklahoma. That killed them. That sealed the deal. Now, it wouldn't have necessarily sealed the deal if SMU beat Clemson last night, but Alabama losing the way that they did to Oklahoma punched them out. Like I said, it's the way they lost. I don't even think it's because they lost. You scored 3 points in 60 minutes of football. I don't know if you deserve it, man, truthfully. I really don't know. I really don't know if you deserve it. But to address Rich's comment, Texas lost to Georgia by 3 points. It's the SEC. That's how they view the SEC versus the Big 12. I know Colorado's in the Big 12. I'll try to make this very clear when we talk, but people don't care about that. Like that, they don't care about that. Like no one cares about the Big 12. Arizona State is gonna get in. Arizona State has a first round bye, and then what? They play the winner of. Hold on. They got a first round bye, and then they play the winner of Clemson and Texas. In that game, you're gonna see that there's a difference between the Big 12 and the SEC, or even the ACC, because both of those teams are better than Arizona State. Terry Moore says, I graduated from Bama, and I don't think we should have been in. I think South Carolina or Ole Miss should have been in, though. Right. I think South Carolina for sure. The way South Carolina ended their season, South Carolina, man, they made it tough. And truthfully, like someone said, South Carolina's season was predicated on one play in that LSU game. While y'all are here, be sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Make the Modern Sports Show the home of your college athlete because it is the home of college athletics, where we are player-led and player-focused. Shout out to our sponsor, Lift Up the Vulnerable. Great mission, great organization. Be sure to check out some of their work and donate, man. You got a couple extra dollars, laying around. Think it would do great help to kind of help their mission and their cause. Great organization. But I believe you. I agree, Terry. I think South Carolina should have been in. They finished the season strong, man, and it is hard. It's hard, man. It's kind of a slap in the face when you think about it. But we're back. War Emanuel kind of giving his reasoning. Let's listen to him. Let's listen to him to see what he got to say. Mm. Right now, guys, we're just listening to War Emanuel kind of give the reasoning behind their decisions. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Man, I love this, guys. Like every December, man. Every December. This really sum up the holiday season. y'all send this to 2 more people because y'all making great points, and I would hate for anybody to miss out on the points y'all making. Like, we got to get some more people in here right now. I'm not even sure how many people are streaming because my number on my end say 4, but I know it's more than 4 people in here. But y'all, yeah, get this to more people, man. Uh, Ken Henderson, Ken Henderson said, "You serious, Terry?" Shit says, if Oregon and Georgia play each other, what do you think would happen if those two teams played each other? I'm saying, man, if that Georgia team played like how they played yesterday, it's gonna be hard. But I gotta stand on what I said, and that's Oregon. I got Oregon winning it this year. Von Drager said, don't forget the rating gonna be down because Bama not in. I agree, and I think a lot of that is hate watch, even with Bama getting in like last year. But I think either which way, there's gonna be some teams that can really elevate their brands based on who they playing. So, like for instance, Tennessee and Ohio State. Tennessee come out with that win, they're gonna elevate their brand of football. Really. Mr. JD 3000 says point blank, they had to set the precedent to honor conference championship games. I agree. For sure. Yeah. Penn State. Yeah, okay. I definitely get it. Okay. I get what Joel Clapp meant. I get what he meant. So, when we look at the bracket, Oregon, they have the winner of Ohio State, Tennessee in the second round versus Penn State sitting at the 6th seed. So the bracket is more advantageous, like Reese just said, to Penn State than it is to Oregon based on who you have to play. Now, granted, yes, who knows what could happen in that Penn State versus SMU game. A key piece could get hurt. Oregon is getting a chance to bypass that regardless. Penn State versus SMU, and then we're clearly going to say Penn State is going to be the winner of that game. SMU obviously coming from Texas to play like up there. No SEC implications, but either way, in the second round, they would then have a Boise State. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's still, I don't know. But, yeah, Von Drake, it's like looking at the bracket, it's a lot of teams. They are going to have the chance to kind of elevate their brand. Like, we are going to look at teams differently if they get certain wins, especially on the road against teams. Like, we're going to, so – I'm ready. December 21st. We're going to have a great slate of games. Ken Henderson says, nah, like Nick said, we only want SMU in because they were ranked 8th and hadn't played anybody, but they feel like they should be there. Should have had them ranked 12th going into the ACC championship. And, yeah, that is very true. It kind of, the way that they did it initially last week when they did the ranking, it created this kind of drawback or blowback because it's like they shouldn't have never been ranked there to begin with. So, yeah, I could see that. I think there has to be a more clear-cut formula, though, when it comes to these rankings. Just listen to what he's saying. It's too many emotions involved with some of these rankings, and there are some implications. Even though I know they say like when certain decisions are made because of those who sit on the committee, their ADs at other schools and whatnot. But you're not gonna tell me that War Manuel, for instance, Michigan played Alabama last year in the Rose Bowl. He might not view Alabama. I'm not making a case for Alabama to be in. I'm just making the point that these people, their ADs or assistant ADs at this school or that school, that's going to have a weigh-in on everyone's decision to reach a consortium in the committee room. So I feel like college football might just need to move to a more clear-cut formula for teams getting into the playoffs, like the NFL. All right, there's no one making a decision because, like Jim Phillips said yesterday on college game day, when certain teams are left out, and he was making the case for SMU to get in the case that they did lose to Clemson, which they did lose. He was making a case for if they were to lose, it would be no reason Alabama to get in above SMU because of strength of schedule and this and that and this and that. The same way Greg Sankey pulled stats, we seen him post on Twitter the same way he pulled stats that Alabama did da-da-da-da-da, and it looked like this against this team and this conference, all these different stats. Lane Kiffin did it. Jim Phillips did it. Like, everybody got all these different angles that you can take to make a case. Alleviate all that, make a simple, clear-cut system, and it might just have to be one big melting pot of schools and go away with conferences and whatnot. Seems like that's what we're trending to anyways. But I mean, what are y'all thoughts on that? How do we kind of alleviate the decision making from an emotional standpoint and make it more like, round by round, like the sign it sorts it out for itself. Ken Henderson said also, how are you considered to be the best in your conference and not play the so-called best teams in your conference? That's real. But when you say that, are we referring to SMU? Mondragas says, if you do that, it needs to be a standard on scheduling, and I agree with that. Kind of like they said, one of the panelists said, it can't be we make our schedule. I think it was Kirk. We making our schedule and we're hiding our schedule. No. Coming in, and who knows? It might just need to be, and I mean, I know they got to schedule games out because of other external factors, but it might need to be like we're going to create our schedule. Like, you got to have your schedule, and your schedule has to get accepted. Your schedule has to get approved by that same committee, whoever the committee is going to be, ranking the teams. Yeah, I can't lie. Nick Saban look pissed off right now. He kind of look pissed off. He seemed uninterested right now. I cannot lie. But yeah, that same committee, the committee who is gonna rank teams in December, has to approve schedules. They have to approve schedules in, let's say, April, right? Let's say April. They got to approve scheduling. How y'all feel about that? The same committee that ranked teams in December has to approve schedules in April. I think that would kind of like the schedule been approved by the same committee that is going to rank the teams. Mondragas says that way you can go in and have a checklist for the committee for sure. Then decide the breakers. Yep. Like, so yeah, the same committee, they approve team schedules in the month of April or whatever. And then when December comes and the games have been played, they knew who was playing who. It was no surprise. They can go ahead and it ain't even nothing to think about. We approved the schedule. Ken Henderson says the ACC period. Yeah? I could tell Nick mad as hell, man. He pissed. Yeah, he's so mad. So right now, guys, for those maybe still watching or just watching, I'm just looking at Dan Lannon's comments about he's on right now. He's live, so we just kind of listen to what he's saying about Oregon and the challenges they might face in between now and January the 1st when they play. Keon Hanley says too much, too many teams. Well, guys, my thoughts are pretty clear. But like I said, I do want to. I'm gonna turn the program off. I do want to ask. Just let's review some of these matchups. I'm gonna give y'all some quick hitters. Of course, I'm gonna go back and do my homework, and I'm gonna go back and do my homework, and of course have the episodes throughout the week over these next couple of weeks. Now that we got some time to kind of get our feet under us, because the season been going by so fast and things like that. But anyways, so let's look at 12 and 5. So this Clemson and Texas matchup. These are some quick hitters. As I'm going through these, y'all drop what y'all think in the comments. I'll look up, and we can I'll address what you have to say. But so for me, Clemson and Texas. So how I view both of these teams, I think Texas obviously has a very high-powered offense. I will say yesterday, Isaiah Bond was really pissing me off with his effort. Like the interception that Quinn Ewers threw early in the game, I get that you kind of lost track of the ball or whatever. You're not trying to find the ball to bat it down. Like that was piss poor effort. And so Texas, I feel like Matthew Golden, the Cat Moore, number 0, Gunnar Helm, like they got some explosive pieces, but they killed themselves yesterday with penalties. And Texas, that's the thing. Texas, the only hesitation I have with Texas is how they play. So when it's a team up scoring points and they're flying around, Texas plays to that. When it's a team like Georgia, they don't play to that. You know what I'm saying? So Texas has to create a standard for itself and always play to that standard. Don't play down, don't play up. Play your football. Clemson, on the other hand, Clemson has been spotty to me. I feel like they beat up. I feel like Clemson. I've looked at Clemson this season like the way I look at Penn State. They have beat up on the little teams, but then when it comes to the heavyweights, like we seen how they opened the season against Georgia. And Georgia, right? Georgia has been a fraction of themselves this season. So in that game, Clemson, Texas, I think is ultimately gonna be a good game. Texas obviously being at home, so I think it's gonna be a great game. And I gotta hold off on my selections and my predictions because we're doing this in a quick format. At 11 and 6, SMU and Penn State. I think this is an odd matchup. Definitely got to do more on SMU, like more homework, because I watched some of them yesterday. But just over the course of the year, I haven't really paid a lot of attention to SMU. I think I have looked at the stats, and I will say their stats are indicative of them being a more balanced offense. And so just going off the stats, SMU might present a challenge early in that Penn State game, but I think Penn State is going to run away with that one. At 9 and 8, Tennessee and Ohio State. This is the one that everyone is
everyone is kind of on. I believe I think Tennessee can win this game. If Tennessee can go into Ohio State with the mindset we just finna play our brand of football, forget what they doing. Ohio State's offense is too spotty, extremely too spotty. That's why I don't understand Cheatham and his, like, bro, I don't get it. You not finna tell me Ohio State can do anything with Tennessee. I don't care how big the brand is. Ohio State has struggled offensively. They have struggled to find an offensive identity all season. Vondragus says Texas more physical. SMU speed is scary. Ken says SMU is too little. You're not going to sit here and tell me Ohio State can do anything with Tennessee. Anything. Ohio State, like I said, has struggled to find an offensive identity all year. Run game has struggled. I don't know if either Quinshon Judkins, and I'm going to look this up real quick. I don't know if Quinshon Judkins or Travion Henderson has touched 1,000 yards this year. Either one of them. Nope. Quinshon at 800. Travion at 750. Now, I guess between the two of them, those are decent numbers because you're sharing carries. Yet and still, if we looking at, give me a team with two running backs, a team that's kind of got two running backs, a good team. If we look at Texas with Wisner and Jaden Blue, and they even got a couple more than that. If we look at those two teams, one of them I'm sure is a 1,000-yard rusher. I'm sure they got a 1,000-yard rusher on their team. Let's see. Wisner at 863. No. Okay. Let's see what else. I think either which way my point is going to remain. Okay, Jaden Blue at 560, but they got a third running back in Jared Gibson at 340. And then Arch Manning himself has contributed to that. Got 100 rushing yards on the year. But my point remains in the fact that the Ohio State football team have not had the numbers that they needed and produced a good rushing game against bad teams or smaller teams, for whatever the case might be. And then in the pass game, Will Howard, like we talked about this a few weeks ago, Will Howard is not that. I'm sorry, and I was convinced maybe at the beginning of the year, him coming, I'm like, okay, well, he was at Kansas State. Of course, we love his stature, right? 6'4", 6'5", 250. Like, love the stature, love his frame. And so we thinking with that, okay, well, maybe he can, maybe with that type of build, he going to be able to, like, come in and deliver at Ohio State. Not the case. Will Howard has struggled at Ohio State, and he has not looked good. Ken says, I like Tennessee. Vondragus says, Tennessee like to spread the field, still be physical in the trenches. That's trouble. That's a lot of trouble. And we know how Heupel does his odd spacing, right, outside the numbers and how they spread you thin. So it's going to put a lot of stress on your safety. It's going to put a lot of stress on that box. And I feel like in that secondary, in Ohio State secondary, the only consistency that they've had has come in by way of Caleb Downs. Now, that's just me. So I really and truly like Tennessee to win that game. I don't think weather is going to be a factor. We know Knoxville is already mountainous. It can get cold in Knoxville. It snows in Knoxville. So not really too much concerned about the weather in that game, the weather elements. Indiana and Notre Dame, I think Notre Dame is just going to outlast Indiana. Notre Dame, they're a little bit more physical, like that defense over Indiana, Indiana's offense. The only reason I feel Notre Dame is going to fizz out at some point over this college football playoff is for lack of offense. I've spoken about this on a few episodes. Don't think they got the offense to hang with some of these better teams, some of these more consistent teams. That Indiana game, I just feel like they're going to mow them down. Now, if we look at just a couple of the ones, it's 12-17. I think in that second round, Texas gets past Clemson. They face Arizona State. Texas is really going to have an easy bye to get to, what is it, that semifinal, whatever is after the semifinal. I think they're going to have an easy go. Tennessee and Oregon, because I like Tennessee to get past Ohio State. Tennessee and Oregon, that's going to be great. That's going to be a great game. Final 8 teams, with those 4 teams left. So we're looking at Tennessee versus we're looking at Tennessee or Oregon against Texas in the, what comes after the semifinals? I'm tripping. Not the quarterfinals before the semi, whatever comes after the semifinals. I'm liking them for that. But yeah, Tennessee, Oregon versus Texas in that third round of the finals. First, second, third in that third round of the finals. Georgia against Indiana or Notre Dame. I think Georgia going to have a field day with either one of them teams. No matter who they get. Georgia's defense, too good. I think Georgia's defense is, and like yesterday, so if I'll be frank, I didn't publicize it, but yesterday Texas was my pick in that game. Texas was my pick just because I did not feel like Georgia would be able to handle Texas again. Even though I understand Texas was like, that was a home environment for Georgia, playing in Atlanta, obviously. I still felt like Texas was going to come in, and they did. They came in fast. Like we mentioned, Quinn Ewers, 330-something yards of offense. They came in fast. But Georgia's defense just outlasted them, man. That Georgia's defense is serious. Serious. They got serious defenders all over the field. In the secondary, in the box, on the edge, interior defensive line, off-stack backers. They got serious pressure, like all over the field. Ken Henderson says for the SEC next year, play teams based on where they are. West play West teams, East play East teams. The SEC championship will dictate who reps the conference, right? So go back to a divisional format, right? I mean, I'm all for it, and I think maybe, and truthfully, you bring up a good point. I think truthfully we might need to bring back divisions in all conferences. Like, honestly, because that'll help kind of sort and hash out some of this mess for the committee to have to take care of later in the year. When you're looking at strength of schedule and stuff like that, well, it's like, okay, well, who did you lose to in your division? And then based on that, okay, well, based on the rankings in each division, you just go based on that. I agree. Just bring back the divisions, and that'll kind of sort it out. And those divisions are actually it's going to look a little different than what it did in years to pass, and not just because we've admitted Oklahoma and Texas to the conference, but even just because of geographically, like you got a chance to reset. Like Kentucky can now go in the West, or Missouri can now go in the West, and Kentucky can go in the East, and Florida can, it can maybe Auburn, Alabama go in the East. Like things can kind of hash itself out, and we can make a middle line geographically. I think each conference needs to do that. That'll kind of clean it up later in the season, and we won't have to. Some of these debates are wasted air. We can kind of get away from some of these debates. And I'm seeing here 11-6 SMU. So Penn State is going to get past SMU. They're going to have, Penn State really has the easiest round, or the easiest road to the third round. The easiest road. Oregon, on the other hand, it's crazy, man. Like the format, I get it. I get what Joel Klatt was saying. Like I said earlier, like it makes sense looking at the bracket. Oregon got a tougher road to get to the championship than does Penn State. Only thing Penn State or Oregon would have over Penn State is games played. So, and then obviously we look at the first 2 teams out. Miami blew it. I won't say Alabama blew it, but Miami blew it. Miami had a chance to win the ACC this year. Defense could not step up. That defense could not get it done. I hate that, man. And I hate it for the premier teams like Alabama and Miami to not be in. And granted, it does give us like some. It does give other teams a newer chance or more chances, opportunities to kind of showcase themselves. But if we see the version of Indiana against Notre Dame that we saw against Penn State, or excuse me, that we saw against Ohio State, do we not say, okay, well, damn it, you wasted a spot. You wasted a spot. Does that not mean that one of the Alabama team could have got in, or or Miami team could have got in? I would have much rather seen one of those two teams if Indiana looks how they look against Ohio State versus Notre Dame. I would have much rather seen one of those teams. So this is a lot of craziness. Arizona State, I'm looking at, okay, if they establish a run game, or are they going to be able to run the ball the way that they run the ball against Big 12 teams? Ken Henderson says West teams shouldn't play East teams and vice versa throughout the year. I like that, actually. I like that because it's like everyone gets a chance to play everybody. So the cream of the crop is going to rise. I actually like that because it's 16 teams. I actually like that because it's 16 teams in the SEC right now. So, and I think so it's 16 teams in the SEC. So if everyone plays each other, that's 8 conferences. That's 8 conference games. You got a chance to play everybody. Each team has 7 conference games, 8 including yourself. What that make? Yeah, maybe they would have to do it to where you would have to do 1 cross-divisional game just to play 8 conference games, right? But you play those 8 conference games, and you will be able to sort yourself in your own conference. You'll be able to, if you're going to be the best in the East, you're going to rise to the top. If you're going to be the best in the West, you rise to the top. That's actually smart, Ken. Like, that's actually smart. 16-10, and then in the Big 12, in the Big 10, it's 18 teams, 9 conference games. You play 1 cross-divisional conference game to make it 9 conference games because they already play more conference games than we do, and they complain about it. But based on what you're saying, yeah, create that precedent, create that formula for itself. You play X amount of conference games, only divisional games, 1 cross-divisional game, just for the hell of it. It don't even got to have no bearing because you might see a rematch. If you play a cross-divisional game with a good team, you might see a rematch. I actually like that. I think that's great. He also says, because how does Clemson not play Miami and vice versa? I think you should definitely do that, man. Cam, you might be on to something, bro. We might need to get in contact with the committee like today, and because I have yet to see that point. You the first person I've seen say that. So, man, Ken just solved college football, y'all. Because, you're going to get the best. And then head-to-head matchups are going to mean something. Head-to-heads are going to mean something. They'll have a lot of meaning then. So, yeah. Hey, man. Can't be mad at it. Cannot be mad at it. Oh, guys, this was a very, very good discussion today. Very good discussion. And Ken solved college football. Von Draken said, that's why I say create a criteria on scheduling. Yeah. And that criteria should just be play all divisional conference games. One cross divisional. Let the conference sort itself out. Each winner of the conference play the conference championship. Forget if you lose a non-conference, because you forget that. Forget that. That who cares? NIU not getting into the college football playoff. Or Georgia State. You lose that game, it's a blemish. It was a bad day. Count it as a bad day. They're not getting in. Or schedule D2s. Schedule D2 conference games. Give Tuskegee some love. Give Miles some love. I don't know. But just create 4 fillers, 3 fillers. Just some fillers. Don't make non-conference games hard-ass games. Don't do that. Just create your games or play in your games, conference games, win your conference, and there you go. The West play the East, and the ACC it would be the North play the South. In the Big Ten, East play the West. Big 12, what? North play the South, or however the landscape is, we would say, or East versus West, however you want to do it in the Big 12. They play each other. Conference championships get in, and then now you can sort it from those at-large spots in each conference. Okay, well, who was second in the SEC? West or East? Who was third in the SEC? West or East? Who was fourth in the Big 12? Like you can sort it off, and it can make sense. We can look at it. We can visualize that. This is why it is the way that it is. But guys, we've been streaming for about 80-ish minutes. I really appreciate y'all joining me today. I'm about to log off, man. We will see y'all possibly tomorrow. Y'all just look out for the thing. Look out for a announcement. If you haven't subscribed, like, comment. Guys, I appreciate my lovely guests. And I will see you guys on the next episode of the Modern Sports Show. Be sure to look out for all our stuff and go follow us on social media. See y'all next time, man.